Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cupid, a visual novel. So we're going to continue where we last left off, and last time, you remember, all sorts of crazy stuff happened. Oh my goodness, so much craziness in this game. But now, if you recall from last time, we were at this point where Catherine said she wanted to call off the engagement. And this ought to be interesting. I said I'm calling off the engagement. Well, I refuse. You don't have a choice. I'm leaving tomorrow. No. Not until you tell me what's wrong. Guilleme's eyes didn't flinch. These were the looks he gave her that melted her heart. They were so sure and steadfast in their care. They were just fighting this morning, a fight she had started as usual. Yet there was no doubt in his eyes at all. If she were to see that certainty fade away from his eyes, she knew it would break her. Is it about the fight earlier? Because, Kath, I swear to you, I haven't done any of the... No, stop. Hearing him reinstate his devotion to her just made it more painful. Tears pooled in her eyes and fell in huge, ugly glops. Okay. She'd been doing so well, too. She had thought she could hold it in until she left. She wiped the tears as best she could, but more kept pouring out. It isn't about that. Then what is it? What do you want me to do? Whatever it is, I shall do it. This was so hard. Why did this have to be so hard? Why did she even go here? Because she wanted to see his face. She wondered what it would be like for a cheater to go back to the arms of her lover. Would it change somehow? Did she still love him? How could she even tell? All her emotions were wrapped in a thick layer of guilt. It was hard to distinguish every painful thought. She'd started to sob now, yes indeed. Ugly and flattering snorts came out of her nose. It felt comforting to hold on to guilt. Its existence made the hatred towards herself bite less. Kath, please tell me what's bothering you. I don't deserve you. I'm a horrible person. You ought to find someone else what? Else to marry. Catherine let the words tumble out of her mouth, slightly relieved to be rid of them. She looked tearfully up at Guilleme to gauge his reactions, but he just stared back at her blankly. Why wouldn't he say anything? Catherine sobbed, fearing the worst. Guilleme cleared his throat and spoke hesitantly. Could you, repeat that? He cupped his hand to his ear and angled it closer to her face. He apparently hadn't caught any of her heartfelt words. Catherine snarled angrily at him. You idiot! I'm having a breakdown here. But I didn't understand what you said. I said you ought to find someone else because I'm a horrible person. Guilleme pulled her to him. Oh, that's it? Whatever made you think that I'll accept that reason? Say what now? Well, she didn't tell him yet about the cheating, so... Well, it wasn't much of cheating, but I don't know. Anyway, Catherine's tears soaked his shirt. You don't know what I've done. Then tell me. You'll hate me, I guarantee it. Did you punch a baby? What? No, dude. No. The inside joke made her laugh out of the blue. She buried her face in his chest in a half-sob, half-laugh. Suddenly her doubts were cleared. Suddenly she didn't want to marry anyone else. Of course. Catherine's arms tightened around Guilleme's waist. I've been taking you for granted, haven't I? I've been arrogant, expecting you to always adjust to me and my whims. A new fervor sprung out of her love for him. I don't deserve you right now, but I'll work on that, if you give me another chance. He doesn't even know what you did. First she would tell him what she had done. Then it would be up to him if he still wanted her. He deserved that decision. What I did. But Guilleme stopped her with a kiss on her forehead. Tomorrow. After a hearty breakfast and a good night's rest. I'll listen to what you have to say. Though I'm quite sure my answer will be the same. Catherine's face melted into a smile and he beamed at her. My star finally smiles. Catherine wiped her eyes. I love you so much. She sighed with content, part of her anxiety put to rest. I do. I really do. She whispered that last one under her breath, as if trying to console herself. Guilleme. Yes, dear? Will you make love to me? Okay, wait, what? Okay. Guilleme's brow shot up in surprise. Right now? Right now. Okay. Dude, when a woman asks you certain things, you're honestly going to question if she wants to do it right now or you want to do... Okay. Well, wow. Okay. Here we go. Yes. No. Well, if you're not ready, later is also fine. Or tomorrow. But since it's already morning, then technically it's today, right? Guilleme's head tilted slightly, and an amused smirk plastered on his face. Please take me seriously, Guilleme. This is important to me. I have to know. I have to make sure. Make sure of what? Catherine. Guilleme held her hand. I think you were tired. And just a little bit barmy. More that usual, I mean. But this is what we will do. Guilleme guided the woman to the bed and sat her down. We are going to lay on the bed. I am going to pat your hair until you fall asleep. I shall skip work today, have that trifling little talk you want. And as such, if you're still in the love-making type of mood, then, mademoiselle, I will take you up on your offer. Oh my goodness. Okay, this guy's really playing up the charm quite a bit. Because let's be honest, most guys, especially those who kind of don't care and just would be wanting to, you know, be up for the chance. If a woman were to go up to them, like a girlfriend or a wife or something, and were to tell them, I want you to have sex with me right now, they'd be like, hell yes, let's do it, you know? But the fact that he is actually taking her feelings into consideration and everything, he's actually telling her, you know, let's talk things over, let's see what's going on, and if this is still what you want to do, I will take you up on that. Wow, there's not a lot of men like that in the world. But then at the same time, I'm still wondering to myself, because after all, this guy does have a reputation and makes you wonder. I don't know. It's all sorts of things. All I'm just saying is not a lot of men are like that. At least not a lot of the men I've known in my lifetime anyway. Anyway, what was I saying? Let's see. Back to reading. Catherine's eyes moistened, but this time they were happy tears. I love you. Guilleme shrugged and lifted Catherine's legs up onto the bed. I love you too, and aren't you lucky? Save it. He climbed on the bed beside her. Catherine draped her arm over him. He searched for her hand, brought it up to his lips, and patted it. She closed her eyes and rested her head on his chest, comforted by the warmth of his embrace. Monsieur, can I ask you something? Why do you love me so much? Guilleme mused for a while. Is that a trick question? It feels like a trick question. Catherine whined. Alright, I shall humor you for now, because you are in such a pathetic state. I love you simply because it's very easy to love you, darling. You are my star, my light. You keep me right always. You make me want to do good by you, to be a better person. You aren't even my wife yet, but the townspeople are already calling you their lady. I may have to hand you the marquisdom myself. That is only because everyone in town knows who I am. Oh, I wonder why that is. Is it because you help sell vegetables in the marketplace on weekends? Or because you conspire my cooks to hold impromptu picnics with the locals? You know about that? One can only sneak out that much food without getting noticed, madame. It amuses me how the servants cover for you upon inquiry as well. It was my idea. They're not to blame. I know, darling, I know. Guilleme chuckled and kissed her temple. It goes to show how your presence uplifts everyone's lives, including mine. But honestly, those reasons aren't exactly why. I love you, Kath. I just do, beyond what I thought I was capable of. Catherine's heart cracked with his last utterance. If I did something bad, would you still love me? Yes, I would. Are you sure? I'm sure. What if I've hurt an innocent person? What if I've hurt you? She bit her lip. What if I was unfaithful? Guilleme stared at her questioningly. Catherine buried her face in his chest. She felt his hand smooth away her hair. He whispered gently into her ear. If you would still have me, come back to me. Xiao, what happened doesn't matter at all. Oh, of course it doesn't. You are not your mistakes, Kath. Guilleme cleared his throat. Suddenly he seemed to have trouble breathing. You have the power to change. How about you? If I told you that I'm not what I say I am, would you? What do you mean? Never mind. It's a silly question. What? Is something bothering you, Xiao? Guilleme turned his head away and closed his eyes. Nothing, darling. We should sleep now. Catherine patted away the frown on his brow. She traced his cheeks with her fingers. Guilleme, I do love you. I am more than certain. It gives my heart happiness to know for sure. What reminded me was your generosity. You give every bit of yourself to the people you love. Do you know that? Because I have too, darling. Well, you have always inspired me, Xiao. I've always looked up to you. You treat everyone, no matter their status, with kindness. Never have I met a man more generous and thoughtful about others. A man with so much love to give, and that is why I love you. You are a good man. But if that's not what I really am. Catherine shook her head. You can't fake sacrifice, mon cher. I have seen you care for the people in this town. I've seen how you've loved me. I don't care much for intention, you see. It's what we actually do that defines us. Guilleme paused, his voice choked up in his throat. Not always. Not always. Guilleme found Catherine's hand on his face and squeezed it. She stretched her neck. She stretched her neck and kissed his cheek. Catherine, you are always scared I will leave you. But the truth is, I know it is you who will leave me. And it hurts. What? You are different. I've loved you for so long. It scares me, how deep I've rooted myself. Sometimes I deem it better to end this wretched existence. To save you from... What are you talking about, Guilleme? You're not making any sense. Is it your turn to scare me? I'm sorry. They didn't speak for a while. The air became a little uncomfortable. She could feel Guilleme's stressful breathing on her forehead. Catherine wondered what Guilleme was talking about, but it didn't seem like he wanted to discuss it further. When Guilleme started to calm down, Catherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it the next day. But Guilleme spoke again. His voice was low and serious. Catherine, do you love me? With all my heart, Guilleme. I've loved you for what seems like my whole life. The candle flickered. Guilleme slipped his hands on Catherine's hair and gently pushed her face towards his. She closed her eyes and let the sensations of his lips take her. His mouth left sweet traces on her skin, as if washing away her sins, blessing her, anointing her. Catherine tasted salt in his kiss, like the taste of tears. She wanted to take away all his sorrows. Guilleme held her tightly, longingly. She drowned herself in his embrace. His palm caressed her neck as... Hello, the music cut out. His palm caressed her neck as he kissed her, sliding down her arm and the curve of her waist. His fingers tugged gently on her skin. Catherine darted her tongue inside his mouth, and why are we getting so descriptive here? And Guilleme answered it with his own. She wanted his every kiss. She felt pleasure to know he was hers. Her hands ran up and down his back as their kisses grew heavier. Why do I feel like I'm reading a fan fiction off of ff.net? Sorry. She felt him get excited as she moved her hand between his legs. Guilleme broke away. Kath, let's stop. You're tired. Well, dude, you started it. Anyway, Catherine looked into his eyes and saw he wanted her despite his protests. After the events of that night, there was a despair in Catherine that longed to be quenched. It was a selfish atonement, perhaps a hunger for self-worth. She ran her tongue over his lips. I want this. Kath. Catherine straddled him. That's great. We're getting real descriptive now. Once again, reminder, this could be mature. Just giving you guys warning now. Of course, I think in every description of the video I've been writing a warning. Captain straddled him, dipping her head and plunging her tongue deep into his mouth. She opened his shirt, nibbling on his ear as she did. She could feel his manhood alive in her thigh. Why am I reading this now? Oh my goodness, this is getting interesting. She moved her hips, a distraught moan left his throat. She bit her lip coyly. It's nice to know I'm having to read this as opposed to us getting pictures. It made her want to do more. The clench of his jaw, his aroused breath, the cord of his neck. Can we please just skip this? They were her little trophies, her bliss. Catherine pulled his shirt free. Why am I reading this? She traced her finger down his bare stomach, keeping the rhythm on her hips. He opened his mouth, his eyes fluttering. Okay, can we? Good Lord. She watched in ecstasy as he bit his lip. To know that he couldn't resist her made her swell with pride. Guilleme grinded with her. Okay, yep, this is starting to sound like an FF.net thing. He began to answer her passion with his own energy. Guilleme sat up on the bed, finally reaching for her, finally giving in. It felt like a victory to her. And, yep, there we go. Oh wait, why is the creepy music coming back? Why is the creepy music coming back? Guilleme grabbed her neck and pulled her face to him. His tongue bored deeply into her. Why am I getting creepy music with this scene? Catherine pulled on his hair, surprised at his sudden intensity. Heat ran through her body. She savored his dominance. His lips ran down her neck to her chest. Why am I getting creepiness going on then? He sucked on her collarbone while working the buttons on her blouse. He slipped the garment down with his teeth and kissed the bare skin experimentally. Every nerve felt tender. Why am I getting creepy music then? Every length of skin felt raw. It was a reminder, an awareness that her flesh was a living thing. Once again, mature warning. There was a build-up of tension as he squeezed... Well, I mean, you can't see anything, but I'm just giving you guys a warning. As he squeezed her breast, planting soft, tiny kisses on its fullness. His hands hovered near her... Okay. Near her crotch. A stray finger would brush her sensitive spots almost innocently. It drove her mad. He was teasing her, studying her reactions with every touch. Catherine drew a sharp breath as Guilleme sucked on her... Okay, we get it. His tongue played with it until it was hard and pert. Catherine felt like a melting... Why am I reading this? Seriously. Hot in the blaze, dripping, thawing in her own heat. Her heat began to pace in time with her... Seriously. Okay. Boy. Growing steadily heavier, beating louder. From sweet affection to wait and lust. He whispered her name and sent a violet tremor throughout her skin. It was started in her torso, surging through her, startling the roots of her hair. Her throat made short, hurt sounds. Okay, now we're just seeing the image of the bed again. She would usually stop here. An irksome apathy would take hold of her and she would stop. Now, this wasn't like the other times. Catherine felt a hot throbbing at the pit of her stomach. A clench in her body wound her up tighter and tighter, putting her in danger of release. This was different. This was... Do you love me, Catherine? Guilleme, Her voice came out throaty and thick. Guilleme laid her down on the bed. His fingers slipped easily inside her, the sensation smooth like silk. Why am I reading this? Okay, okay, we get the point. Obviously, they are doing it. He was surprisingly adept. What the? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm seeing things. She didn't have time to marvel at his expertise. His left hand massaged... Yeah, we get the point where they tickle the lips. Okay, let's just keep going. So you guys get the point. Obviously, they're doing it. We get the point now. I mean, to be fair, if you want to pause and read, you can be my guest. But I'm just going to kind of skip this a little bit because we get the point. They're doing it. They're having sex. You know, there's nothing, not much here. So... Blah, 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 blah. Yes, we get the point. Really, I feel like as if I'm in a weird fan fiction right now. I mean, to be fair, I know I'd read online that there was scenes in here. I didn't realize they were going to get this descriptive. Because, we get the point. It is what it is. Okay, here we go. Once again, it's Guilleme talking. Do you love me? Oh God, I love you. She said it in an urgent, desperate frenzy. In and out his... Okay, yep, let's keep going. So... we get the point. Like I said, it's... Okay. Escaped her nose. Catherine opened her eyes. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's actually... This is probably something we're actually going to read now. She got something alarming as she stared up at him. He didn't look like the Guilleme in the shadows unlit by candlelight. His features were the same. His eyes were in the same place. His nose and lips were the same shape. But this man was a stranger. He did not care for her, like how a snake didn't care for its prey. For a brief second, she was afraid. A tiny voice told her to run away, but that voice was washed away by a wave of carnal desire. The stranger grinned at Catherine. Mine. Faster. Okay, let's see. Reaching for something. Faster and deeper, his kisses went as if reaching for something inside her. Okay, here we go. His weight on her body excited her, but it also felt like a prison. Run, rabbit. Run, rabbit, run. Why does that make me think of a song? There's a song that relates to a rabbit and a wolf, actually. Catherine viciously devoured his lips. Her hands cruised south, kneading and clutching greedily. Her legs were draped around his waist. A force overtook her. A hunger. Here comes the farmer's gun. Oh, I thought I was gonna... Okay, sure, we'll talk about a rabbit... Okay. She tried to ignore the growing coldness in Guilleme's eyes. She tried to ignore the way her body moved on its own. Run, rabbit. Run, rabbit, run. Her hands found the clasps of his trousers and she undid them. What? You mean this entire time they're going and they still... Okay, fine, whatever. Quickly now. Quickly. She clutched his... Yeah, move... Okay, we get the point. He bit on her shoulder. Okay. Herself for being aroused. Being terror only served to aggravate her urges. She wanted this. I want this. She was hungry. I am hungry. She heard the man snicker. He wants his farmer's pie. So don't stand idly by. Run, rabbit, run. Oh, yep. There we go. Okay, so, no warmth, just cold, hard greed. And yet she couldn't help but want him. She pushed her hips. Okay, so let's see. Like I said, if you want to pause for some of these parts, you guys can read this yourself, but we kind of get the point. It sounds to me as if, I don't know, it doesn't sound like lovemaking. It just sounds like doing it just to do it, it seems. Let her energy wither away. A heady, nauseous feeling of malady was clawing at her. What was missing? What was taken away? She didn't know what was gone until it was. The final scream of protest died in her mind, the last that was left of her lucidity. The urge to escape left. No more reasons to stop. Catherine moaned. Stop? No, I must not stop. Why did I even think that? What if he'd hate her? It was an agonizing thought. She had to give him more. More. His eyes observed her with cold amusement. Catherine touched his chest in reverence. His eyes were cold, but his body was like fire. The heck? And now we got an image of... I'm assuming it's them, but we got angel wings going on here. In her mind's eye, he had started to become something else. A winged creature engulfed in flame. Both hot and cold and magnificent. Both beautiful and terrible. Both dark and light. At times she would be on the bed of a man she might remember as one she once loved. Other times she would be floating, suspended in a dark chasm of flesh. Okay, what's going... Oh, good lord, this is just getting creepy. There was a creature with her, somebody she both loathed and adored. Sometimes there were two people. Sometimes there was only him. Only him. The woman called Catherine didn't exist. She was merely an extension of his mind. Soon all of her would be gone, little by little disintegrating to be a part of him forever. Catherine screamed. She came again with that thought. Oh, bliss. She was prepared to give everything to him. It didn't even seem a worthy sacrifice to lay at his feet. But no, all he asked for her was her heart. That small, pathetic thing. It had always been his anyway. She gave it gleefully. He was so generous and considerate. Benevolent. Fair. She savored his fullness inside her. She worshipped him. He was her god. Please want me. Please find me pretty. She craved his love above anything else. Above fear and confusion. Above the morning, it's something precious lost. Love me, please. Love me, she begged. I'll do anything for you. Anything? His lips did not move, save for a smile. The words simply dropped in her head, echoed and took root. Catherine's eyes lost their glimmer. Anything. Then tell me again. I want to hear it. Do you love me, Catherine? Her name on his lips was the only reminder of her former self. I do. I love you. I love you so much. With these words, she felt him stiffen inside her. He moved faster. Okay, we get it. Roused by her devotion to him, a wave of fire burnt her lips as their mouths entwined. Okay, we get it. His forehead. Like I said, once again, you can read if you want to. Began the thaw, a sun on the verge of eclipse. Its coldness replaced by a radiating heat that melded and fastened her to him like fire with metal. She felt another orgasm threaten her insides. Really? Do you really love me? Yes. Why is this getting creepy? I don't think sex is supposed to be this creepy. She screamed. Yes. The candle fizzled out. Beneath the depths of her hazy mind, she was relieved she didn't have to look at his face. She tastes just like the richest chocolate, the finest wine. I can't stop. My whole body shivers with the taste of her. Her breath on my neck, her fingers scratching at my back. The sound she makes as I push into her. Her lust gives me sustenance to move faster, to devour her faster. Okay, this is just all sorts of wrong. Stop. I knew waiting so long would be worth it. I have been her lover for years, and this flavor is divine. My head spins. My appetite swells. I can't stop. I bind her hands into a tight grip and push them above her head. Her legs squeeze my waist. I can feel her excitement mounting with her helplessness. I lick my lips in delight. I haven't breathed so deeply for a long time. You're taking too much. Her love is exquisite. It is laced with anger, reverence, disappointment, pain, memories, all different relishes and morsels melding into one. Stop it. Her love is a delicacy. You're destroying her. I can't stop myself. I haven't tasted this kind of love for so long. Flirtations and physical attraction can only get me by for so long. I was going to wait. There is a warning in her love. There's a waning in her love. Confusion, doubt, but that helping of guilt tinged the flavor perfectly. I must feed now. Her love is the most perfect tonight. My body wants her. Why does something tell me you two are going to regret this in the morning? At the very least, she will. I couldn't stop now, even if I wanted to. Liar. And I almost let you escape. To save her, I almost ran away. I love her. I love her. And tomorrow, maybe. What will become of her? I will find another. Next time. Something insignificant. I want to relish this taste a bit more. No. No. The mounting pleasure in my bones clamps on my... Thank you for that. The numbness spreads to my stomach. It is almost painful. It goads me to increase my rhythm as she follows my lead. Good girl. Good girl. With every move, I feel her love osmose into my other mouth. She clings to me, her moans louder, her bare chest glistens with sweat. She is beautiful. It sounds to me like you are taking advantage of her, dude, but whatever. It won't be long now. A final drawing of breath. Do you love me, Catherine? Give me all your love. All of it. Give it to me. I want it all. It's mine. Mine. Catherine. Give me more. I want more. 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 What just happened? Okay. Okie dokie. Alright. Wow. Okay. That was horrifying. It was a lot of everything. I'm going to stop right here. Where is the save option? Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm definitely going to have to reiterate that this one's got a bit of a mature warning. I mean, to be fair, it's not so much mature in the images they show, it was more mature in what the text was. And my first apology is to those that might find it annoying that I didn't read all the text. I mean, let's be honest. You guys can either pause and read the text yourself, or you can use your imaginations. So we're gonna stop right there. Because my goodness, this is all sorts of strange. But regardless of how interesting that episode was, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know the drill. Like, fave, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that said, I will see you guys around later. Much. Bye.